turning pages, night turning days. I'm tired of waiting. I gotta make it.
And let's see here. This is a lot of stuff to talk about with the Cavs right now. Because the Cavs have been really good so far.
Well, really. Right now, I say right now, I wouldn't call this team like a contender yet because, well, I don't want to say we've been like lucky, but there has been a lot of teams that have been dealing with like COVID and injuries. So I do feel like, in a way, this numbers are kind of inflated. So I don't think we're a contender right now, but that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
But define contender, like when you say that, because I really gotta ask. Like when you say
contender is someone to me like the Brooklyn Nets or the Milwaukee Bucks. Someone that I feel like can like someone feel like that. Oh, I know those guys have like a real legit chance at making the finals. I can't say that. Right now, I can't say that for the Cavs because I feel like there's teams like the Nets, of course. They have Kevin Durant. They're probably gonna have too much talent for us. The Milwaukee is really a terrible matchup for us because you saw what happened last time we played them. They really disrupted us with their length because they're so long. They just match up really well with us. And then the Heat, of course, when they're fully healthy, really, they're probably better than us as well. So those who are the three teams I think who are the real contenders right now.
Well, honestly, I didn't really think the Cavs would be that type of contender yet. Like even with the COVID protocol and injuries, because it's still some things we do have to get better on offensively and defensively. Even though our defense is top tier so far, but our offense is still like, because I still feel like we need one more scorer. You get what I'm saying? I think we need one more prominent scorer, and then there's a lot of things we still don't understand who's our closer, right? Which is okay. But it's still like those type of things. Like I think we can because if you would have said contending is like we can contend for a playoff spot, I do sincerely at this point think we can contend for a playoff spot. But if you talk about the second round Eastern Conference Finals, I don't think we're ready for that yet.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. And speaking of score though, right? Because I've been getting a lot of flack. Well, it's been kind of in between actually. I'm kind of surprised now. How do you feel about Collin Sexton? Like, how should we handle Collin Sexton?
So really, I said this in your last video. I think right now, just watching the Cavs a little bit more, I think the lack of scoring from him is somewhat what we miss. But I will say this: if Isaac Okoro can become a consistent player on offense, he's most likely a better option than Collin Sexton. But I do also say that Collin Sexton is a really good scorer, and we do need a second scorer next to Darius Garland because I feel like at times where we're going through cold stretches, there's no we need someone that can get a bucket. And I've seen a lot of this really where teams they double Darius Garland because they know there's no legit scorer next to him. There's no real threat on offense for him. So I feel like we should bring him back as maybe a sixth man, a guy that can play six-man minutes, which is basically, people don't understand, but 6 minutes is basically starter minutes. So a guy can just come off the bench and when we need the scoring, he can come in and score off the bench, like just someone like that. Now it depends on how much money he's really asking, because if he's asking for like starter money, like what he did like in the summer, then I would try to sign a trade. If he's asking for someone like pretty middle tier deal, where a pretty team friendly deal where he's willing to come off the bench, come sixth man, that kind of money. Then I would bring him back because his scoring, and at the end of the day, his scoring is really valuable, even though he might not be a great fit to Garland. Still, we need his scoring, unless, of course, you can trade him in a package and get someone that's better. So, yeah, that's my take on him.
And then I also, because I'm very intrigued in your perspective right now, based on what you said too. So, let's say hypothetically, with Collin Sexton, let's say he's not comfortable with that bench role, like, because you got to think Collin Sexton is a 22-year-old player. And I know people have been saying we don't know how he feels, what he wants and stuff, how loyal he is to the Cavs. But it's just, for me, it's kind of hard because I haven't personally ever seen a player this young literally adapt or compromise to a role like the bench, especially when they've been considered the star of the team since they've been drafted.
Well, really, I'm going to say this, Relly. Since he's been the star of the team, the Cavs haven't really had much talent around him. So I do feel like the numbers, his numbers are kind of inflated because he was the main guy in all these shots, and he was just the main guy. And now that we are a good team, I feel like things change because now he has to. Now I feel like it's beneficial for the team for him to lessen his role, and in order to make the team better. That's why I feel like.
That's Atlantis with that money.